Good morning, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People. Today is June 28th, 2017. And I want to talk to you about some events that are happening in late July and very important celestial signs. And I'm going to share my understanding or interpretation of these events with you. The first thing I want to talk about is a planetary alignment that begins on July 19th, where all the planets, all 8 planets are going to be on one side of the sun. According to many scientists or researchers, this is a very, very unique, rare occurrence. All planets are going to be on one side of the sun, on one side of the solar system. All 8. Now, one detail I'd like to bring to everybody's attention about the importance of this is that, remember, a huge part of the asteroid cluster gathers in between Earth and Mars, and all the planets are gathering on one side of the sun. And so, if you can imagine the gravitational pull bringing everything towards one side of the solar system, because all the planets are on one side of the sun. And so this is a very unique sign of, to me, what would seem like the beginning of a greater judgment period. Now, July 19th is the beginning of this. If you want to study more about this, there are some videos that are done about this, the uniqueness of this, the importance of this. And you can study that in YouTube, All Planets at One Side of the Sun, July 2018, and then it'll pull up a few videos. There's not too much information. I couldn't find too much information about this, but it is happening, and it's documented that it's happening. And so you can study this. Now, on July 21st, which is just 2 days, this alignment begins on the 19th of July, and on the 21st of July, we have what is called the 9th of Av. This is the Jewish 9/11. And Tisha B'Av, 9th day of the 11th Hebrew month, is when the first temple in Jerusalem was destroyed. The second temple in Jerusalem was destroyed. 9/11 on the Gregorian calendar is when the Twin Towers were destroyed. And in Jewish gematria, Tisha B'Av also equals 9/11. So we have a day where judgments have fallen in history. And just before this day, we have a very unique planetary alignment that, I mean, if we wanted to see a sign in the heavens of a judgment of asteroids or of meteors that are going to be pulled our direction, then you line up all the planets on one side of the solar system, and you have everything heading our way because of the gravitational pull that will be taking place. And so I think this is a sign of increased judgments that are going to be coming upon the earth. And it lines up with the time frame of 9/11, Tisha B'Av. And so this would be a beginning marker, not just one day, but a beginning marker of a time frame of increased judgments. Just 6 days later, on the 27th of July, there was another very unique sign in the sun, in the heavens. And this is the longest blood moon total lunar eclipse of the century. So, I mean, we have that rare, very rare occasion, a very rare event of all the planets lining up on one side of the solar system, while at the same time we've got the longest total blood lunar eclipse of the century that's going to happen on July 27th. I mean, that's a pretty amazing connection and event. I mean, to put those two things together. Well, in and of itself, the fact that this is the longest blood moon of the century, I think is a very important marker. Very important marker. And the Bible says that the sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming of the great and glorious day of the Lord. And so we have a marker that may be a sign of something that is just around the corner or just before the major event that we're waiting for is this sign of the blood moon before the coming of the great and glorious day of the Lord. This is the 15th of Av. Friday, July 27th is the 15th of Av, and the 15th of Av is a minor Jewish holiday called Tu B'Av, and in modern day Israel it is celebrated as a holiday of love. Similar to Valentine's Day, it has been said to be a great day for weddings. A great day for weddings. Wow. Okay. So we've got judgment increasing. Then we have a sign in the heavens of judgment that comes before the great and terrible day of the Lord, but it's also a sign of a wedding. So, I mean, we've got a double meaning of this blood moon. A double meaning. It's for the people of God to look towards their redemption, but it's also a sign of judgment upon the world. And this is a very interesting connection that leads us by 7 days. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. As it was in the days of Noah, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. And if we look at what may be the true calendar, we're still trying to understand what could possibly be God's true calendar. I have reason to believe that the true calendar may begin on the full moon of each month. This may be the reason why there was a solar eclipse at the hour of the crucifixion. You know that a solar eclipse cannot happen in a full moon. According to the normal calendar in Israel, the Passover, if the moon begins on a dark moon, then the midpoint of the month is a full moon. Well, there was a solar eclipse at the crucifixion, and that cannot happen on a full moon. That can only happen on a dark moon. And so the reason for this is because the way we follow the calendar is not right. So that means the month would begin on a full moon. Well, according to this celestial clock, and if you have not seen this study, I suggest you watch this study in YouTube. You can search this. What is Abib and the true turn of the year? According to this study, the celestial clock will mark based on the full moon being conjoined with Spica on the horizon, and that juncture, that conjunction, will mark the new year every year, the beginning of every year. And so this year, that conjunction happened on May 1st. And if we take into consideration an extra 30 days based on an unfulfilled feast, which is second Passover, then we see the calendar from the beginning of the new year, which was May 1st. We see that May 14th was Passover. Then we count 50 days, May 15th to July 4th, July 4th being Pentecost. And then if we add 30 days to that based on second Passover, that brings us to August 4th. And so August 4th may mark second Pentecost of this year of Jubilee, and this may be the day that we are waiting for based on the unfulfilled feast of second Passover. And the second Passover is interesting because it's like kind of a hidden, it's a hidden thing. It's not something that it's on the calendar, but it's kind of like despised. It's not really taken into consideration too much. And yet it's there, it's a feast. And my thought is that if the first coming of Christ filled first Passover, normal Passover, then maybe the second coming of Christ will fulfill second Passover. And this is the difference between the 1260 and the 1290 days in the timelines that are given around the tribulation period based on the 30-day difference between normal Passover and second Passover. And so August 4th seems to me to be second Pentecost. And this happens to be the birthday of the Antichrist. Will this be the day that the Antichrist receives his power, is incarnated? The day that Revelation 12:12 will be fulfilled? When the devil comes down to earth with great wrath, knowing his time is short. So, what I wanted to share today is that I see that based on this planetary alignment on July, that starts on around July 19th, that is going to mark an increased number of judgments, an increased number of judgments, and an increased power of judgments. Not just the number of judgments, but the scope and the power of the judgments that are going to be begin to be poured out. We are already in a period of judgment. I mean, we see judgments going all over the world with the volcanoes and the earthquakes. The flooding is off the charts. There's wildfires going in a lot of places. Right now, coming into summer, scorching heat is predicted in many, many places. That's part of the bowl judgments. Men will be scorched by the sun, and the water will be contaminated. All the marine life will die. These are part of the bowl judgments that are going to be completely fulfilled in the last portion of the Great Tribulation, the wrath of God that is going to be poured out. And so we we already see the judgments, but I think that the judgments are going to increase dramatically come July 21st, leading up to the blood moon of July 27th, which is a sign of our departure, a sign of our wedding, on second Pentecost, August 4th, 2018, the birthday of the Antichrist. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. I pray everyone is blessed. Thank you for listening. And please read the comments in the description box if you would like more information. And I will also be leaving my email if anyone would like to share information with me. For example, this information about the planetary alignment was sent to me this morning, and I looked into this, saw how it all connected with the Hebrew calendar, and this is the message that the Lord gave me to put together. I pray that you are blessed today. This is Steve Fletcher with the trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.